It's Thursday, August 1st, 2024. It's another day that ends in Y and another day tensions mount in the Middle East. The mastermind of 9/11 gets a plea deal, and Donald Trump talks to black journalists. What could go wrong? Next on the AM Update. Tomorrow is Friday. That means it's another edition of Ask or Tell Me Anything. You can ask me any question you want or tell me any news story you think needs and deserves to be covered on the AM Update. Make your submissions on the pinned post on my X profile at Real AM Update. Again, tomorrow, Ask or Tell Me Anything. Now on with the Thursday edition. United Airlines and Delta Airlines have both suspended flights to Israel, halting planned flights to Tel Aviv amid rising tensions in the Middle East. United told media in a statement, quote, beginning with this evening's flight from Newark Liberty to Tel Aviv, we're suspending for security reasons our daily Tel Aviv service as we evaluate our next steps. Delta posted a notice on its website that its flights between New York, JFK, and Tel Aviv will be paused through Friday. As you know, on Tuesday, an Israeli airstrike in Beirut targeted and killed Fouad Shakur, a key commander of the terrorist group Hezbollah. Shakur was the Hezbollah commander who was behind a drone strike that killed 12 children and teens on a soccer field in Israel over the weekend. Then, Hamas leader Ismail Haniyeh was assassinated in Tehran on Wednesday, prompting Iranian Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei to declare that it's Iran's duty to take revenge for the attack. Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei has ordered a direct strike on Israel following the killing of that Hamas leader. The New York Times reported, according to three sources, quote, Mr. Khamenei gave the order at an emergency meeting of Iran's Supreme National Security Council on Wednesday morning, shortly after Iran announced that Mr. Haniyeh had been killed. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu addressed his country on Wednesday and said that Israel's enemies will, quote, exact a very heavy price from any aggression against us on any front. Again, another day that ends in Y, another day of mounting tensions in the Middle East. The U.S. has reached a plea deal with alleged 9/11 mastermind Khalid Sheikh Mohammed and two other defendants. That's according to the Defense Department. Mohammed, also known as KSM, was captured in Pakistan in 2003 for his alleged involvement with the terror attacks. In 2008, Mohammed was charged with a list of crimes including conspiracy, murder in violation of the law of war, attacking civilians, attacking civilian objects, intentionally causing serious bodily injury, destruction of property in violation of the law of war, and terrorism and material support of terrorism. The U.S. said it would seek the death penalty for Mohammed. Walid Mohammed Salih Mubarak bin Atasha and Mustafa Ahmed Adam al-Hawsari have also reached plea agreements, according to the Pentagon. The men agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy charges in exchange for a life sentence instead of the death penalty. The plea agreement avoids what would have been a long and complicated death penalty trial against Mohammed. It's unclear where Mohammed and his co-defendants will serve out their life sentences. Donald Trump showed up to the National Association of Black Journalists Convention. Yes, that's a real thing. And say what you want about Donald Trump. That takes some chutzpah. Of course, it went off the rails immediately.
Mr. President, we so appreciate you giving us an hour of your time. I want to start by addressing the elephant in the room, sir. A lot of people did not think it was appropriate for you to be here today. You have pushed false claims about some of your rivals, from Nikki Haley to former President Barack Obama, saying that they were not born in the United States, which is not true. You have told 4 congresswomen of color who were American citizens to go back to where they came from. You have used words like animal and rabid to describe black district attorneys. You've attacked black journalists, calling them a loser, saying the questions that they ask are, quote, stupid and racist. You've had dinner with a white supremacist at your Mar-a-Lago resort. So my question, sir, now that you are asking black supporters to vote for you, why should black voters trust you after you have used language like that?
Well, first of all, I don't think I've ever been asked a question in such a horrible manner. First question. You don't even say, hello, how are you? Are you with ABC? Because I think they're a fake news network, a terrible network. And I think it's disgraceful that I came here in good spirit. I love the black population of this country. I've done so much for the black population of this country.
He's not winning the black vote, not even close. But man alive, to hear the audience at the National Association of Black Journalists Convention cheering Donald Trump, Just think about the journalist, I don't know her name, who asked that question. Just think about what's going on in her mind. Holy cow, I screwed up. Man alive, they just don't learn their lessons. They really don't. And yeah, there are maybe 5 different ways Donald Trump could have answered that question, but immediately he gets to play the victim there. He's absolutely right. There was no cordiality. He didn't have to be there. Kamala Harris said she was going to be there, but wasn't there, as Donald Trump got into later on in that convention speech. And he gets to play the victim in front of a crowd of black onlookers. That is just... That's a political instinct you just can't teach. New York Governor Kathy Hochul went on CNN the other day to talk about the Trump-Vance ticket. Here's what she had to say again. I'll remind you, just 2.5 weeks ago, Donald Trump nearly got his brains splattered all over a stage on national television.
I didn't call his supporters weird. I think it's pretty clear that the 2 candidates are very weird by our standards. And so everybody can have their opinion, but there is no shortage of words that are coming out of their mouths attacking Democrats. It's a more playful way of saying things. We don't have to say they're dark and they're dangerous and they're scary and head into that space. They're just weird. I mean, that's just a statement of fact. I mean, we've never seen anything of their likes in American history, especially J.D. Vance.
So yeah, they're weird. They're also, we don't have to say they're dark and they're dangerous and they're scary and head into space. They're just weird. We've never seen anything of their likes in American history. But they're just weird. We've never seen anything of their likes in American history. Just weird. Just weird. We're going to forget that somebody else who is actually really weird, Thomas Matthew Crooks, as I said earlier, nearly assassinated Donald Trump. But yeah, 2.5 weeks later, we've never seen anything like this, their likes in American history. No, there's not going to be any tamping down of the rhetoric. Not at all. No introspection. Not at all. No lowering the temperature. Not at all. Nope. Leftists are leftists. Our communists are communists. This is their religion. Can't stop, won't stop. They are fundamentally anti-human. There's no level of introspection at all. There's no level of self-awareness at all. All that matters is the pursuit of power. It doesn't matter who gets in their way, who gets killed, who gets their ears nearly shot off, their head nearly blown up. It doesn't matter. All that matters is the pursuit of power and the wielding of power once they get it. Earlier this week, at a rally for Kamala, Pennsylvania Governor Josh Shapiro, who is rumored to be Kamala Harris's running mate, she's going to make that announcement allegedly next Tuesday. I guess I should say this coming Tuesday. Shapiro kicked off Kamala's event in Pennsylvania with these words.
And so I got a message to Donald Trump. Stop shit-talking, America. This is the greatest country on the face of the earth. Let's start acting like it.
Oh, that's edgy. Dropping an S-bomb there. Really, man. Thrill up my leg. No, that's going to be a common theme here, is that the gaslighting will delve into more areas of everything's fine. We're a great country still. Forget that 11 million illegals are in this country and that inflation has soared to levels hitherto unknown and that nobody can buy a car or home or anything like that. Stop talking, America. Of course, they're going to be able to pivot back to a lot of this inflation has its roots during COVID, but we won't talk about that right now. International news. Ukraine has received the first F-16 fighter jets that it has sought for months to fight back against an onslaught of Russian missiles. A U.S. official confirmed the transaction to the Associated Press. A Ukrainian lawmaker also confirmed Ukraine has received a small number of F-16 fighter jets. The 2 officials spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not permitted to speak on the subject publicly. Ukraine has been pushing its Western allies for F-16s for Ukraine for months, saying they were critically needed to fight back against the onslaught of missiles. Russia has been firing against it. The F-16 is specialized in suppressing enemy air defenses. The West has hesitantly moved towards providing the jets after previous concerns that arming Ukraine with advanced weaponry would further escalate the war with Russia. A massive crowd of mainly Venezuelan illegals practically took over the parking lot of a shopping mall in Aurora, Colorado on Sunday night, firing shots in the air and leaving trash everywhere in response to the presidential election in Venezuela, some 3,000 miles away. Between 5 and 6 p.m. on Sunday, people began flocking to the Garden on Havana shopping center, many waving Venezuelan flags, as early returns indicated that political outsider Edmundo Gonzalez Ureta was on track for a landslide victory over dictator Nicolas Maduro. However, Venezuelan officials then reportedly kept vote tallies secret over the next several hours, and shortly after midnight, the National Electoral Council announced that Maduro had prevailed, securing a third term in office. The crowd in Colorado gathered in Aurora was likewise erratic. According to Aurora police, as many as 4,000 people swarmed the shopping center, making nearby roadways impassable and preventing mall customers from entering or leaving. Aurora police also acknowledged that other unruly behaviors from the crowd included trash and debris being left behind and shots being fired into the air. A Facebook post from Aurora City Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky gave a similar report. The shopping centers were invaded and cars trapped in. The streets were shut down. There were reports of assaults, theft, and gunshots in the air. I've not heard of any reported deaths. Again, that's a post from Aurora City Councilwoman Danielle Jurinsky. Import the third world, become the third world. And now here's this. A study of children's video consumption habits showed that the youngest generations of Americans prefer to use YouTube far more than other forms of media, including social sites. The survey of thousands of children aged 2 to 12, also known as Generation Alpha, so there's the millennials, there's Gen Z, and now Gen Alpha. This survey asked about their daily media consumption. Surprisingly, the survey showed that youngsters are generally shifting away from social media platforms and focusing purely on video content. When asked how they had been consuming content recently, 81% of respondents said they used YouTube, with the second highest response being subscription video on demand at 62%. Mobile games was the third highest answer, with 55% of those surveyed saying they'd played one of those games recently. That's not a great development, in my estimation. At least on social media, there's still it is fake, it's phony, but fake interconnectedness, fake friendships for the most part, not real face-to-face friendships, but there is some interconnectedness, some socialness. That's why it's called social media. YouTube, of course, there's the comment section, but that's where rational thought goes to die. YouTube, it's just basically one-to-one. There's no interaction. There's all just kind of a one-sided communication. Same with most video games as well. Gen Alpha. Of course, the survey was on those 2 to 12, so maybe that's actually a good thing after all that they're not on social media. And finally, alleged sex trafficker, former kickboxer Andrew Tate. He's not a good dude. He says he's a Muslim. He's a terrible human being. But he's a media influencer. He's got millions of followers. He saw the opening ceremony of the Olympics and went out on the street to protest and talk about the depiction of the Last Supper. Again, this guy is a Muslim. Here he is out on the streets taking umbrage and protesting what the Olympics did.
Guys, I believe most of you are Christians. I'm a Muslim. Yes, this is Romania. It's supposed to be the most Christian country in Europe. You cannot allow them to desecrate something as important as the Last Supper with transsexuals and little children. Philia. There has to be a point you stand up for your beliefs. If you have something in life and you don't stand up for it, it will not last. If you have a house, you don't maintain it, it will fall down. Business, you don't work, it's gone. Relationship, you don't take care of her, she'll leave you. It's the same with religion. If you Christians don't start standing up for things, when they mock you publicly and openly, you'll have no religion left. It doesn't matter, it's a matter of time. Especially now, Romania and all these other countries have opened the border. Millions of people who come here are not Christian. And if you don't say, this is a Christian country and we respect Christianity, they won't respect it either. It's the end. And it's the man's job. The men have to stand up and fight against these things. When they try this crap again, I expect to see you all at the next embassy, wherever it is.
So that's Andrew Tate. He is an alleged sex trafficker. He's on the streets there in his home country of Romania. He is a Muslim. He is a terrible human being. And he has millions of followers on social media. And you just heard why. Many of them men or young men. See, the West, particularly in America, young men have been given the choice. It's either the Pious Eunuch Technical Institute, where Mike Pence and others are proud alums of. David French would be another proud alum of Pious Eunuch Technical Institute. Or there's Andrew Tate's Genghis Khan School of Masculinity. So that's really not much of a choice. This is a descriptive statement, not a prescriptive statement. The young men, if you wonder why Andrew Tate is so popular with young men, and he is, it's because he at least allows those young men permission to act on their God-given instincts. Now, in Andrew Tate's case, those instincts are almost universally, from what I've read, channeled destructively, or at least unconstructively. Certainly when it comes to women, destructively. But at least you're not a eunuch. That's why he is so popular. The church in the West, particularly America, has given young men a false choice. Either you're a pious eunuch like Mike Pence or David French, or you are the Genghis Khan school of masculinity that Andrew Tate goes to. You rampage through life, spread your seed as far as it will go, with no regard for women whatsoever, no regard of channeling that righteous, God-given instinct constructively. Basically, man unleashed. It's a false choice, but it's no surprise why younger men, looking back at generations of pious eunuch technical institute, look to Andrew Tate and see, yeah, I'm going with that. Again, this is descriptive, not prescriptive. I'm not approving of that choice because it is a false choice. But it's the choice young men have been given, especially in this country. The right choice, of course, is the acting upon masculine instinct with meekness, strength under control. That doesn't mean bowing down, kowtowing. That doesn't mean saying that you lack grace for decrying what went on at the Olympic opening ceremonies last week. That means power, strength under control. There's not too many examples of that, at least not popular examples in the Christian church in America these days. And that's why young men are sifted into the Pious Eunuch Technical Institute or the Genghis Khan School of Masculinity. That'll do it for Thursday. Ask or Tell Me Anything is tomorrow. Make your submissions at Real AM Update on X. Look for the pinned tweet. That'll do it for today. Back at it again tomorrow. I'm Aaron McIntyre, and this is the AM Update.